Hello, everybody. Joe Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of Summer Pockets Reflection Blue, where it's been a week for me. Oh my god. And I mean that in the sense that it's been a long week with many eventful things, and it's also been a week since I've last recorded, due to those many eventful things going on. So, started off with, as you know, last week? Was it last week? Yeah. Well, I guess it would be 2 weeks ago now by this count, considering last week, the week just ended. It's Saturday now. Is it Saturday? I think it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday now. It's 3 a.m. when I'm recording this, so the date changed. I got back from leave, which is great. It means I'm back to work. I was working the afternoon shift, second shift, like 3 to 11. Is that math? Yeah, that's math. Yep, 3 to 11, not that bad, whatever. A little sleepy, because, I'm staying up to midnight working, but hey, not the biggest deal of the world. Well, literally the following week, I flip over to the third shift, night shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And oh boy, that was a doozy. Pretty much crash course going bam, 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 right from one shift to the other. Need to entirely transition my sleep schedule. So for like 2 days straight, I'm just struggling to stay awake. And this is on my weekend. This is like my off time. Force myself to sleep during the day. And I mean force myself. Like I would stay up until like 4 or 5 a.m. like the first day or two and then go to sleep. But then my body would want to wake me up at like 10. Because it's like, okay, daytime, wakey, and it's like, no, I need to sleep. So then you do the thing where you're just rolling over and like closing your eyes and sleeping for like another 40 minutes. Then you wake up again, and then you just keep doing that until you've, technically slept for like 8 hours. But you wake up and you're fucking exhausted because, that sleep's not real sleep. It's not restful at all. So those few days, I was feeling it. And then, of course, going to work, I'm still not on a full night shift schedule. So, like, 3 a.m. rolls around, and it's like, oh, I'm dying, dude. I'm just, like, at work, just, like, trying not to pass out. Well, then I get home and I sleep, and I'm exhausted, so I didn't record those days. So, the first few days of the week, just absolutely shot. Then the middle of the week, I had to do my fitness exam, my annual, physical fitness test, which, went surprisingly well. I wouldn't say surprisingly, I have been working on my cardio, but it went better than I thought. I got like an 85, and that was on top of it being at 8 a.m., so I worked an entire shift, was tired as fuck, and then had to go work out. Like, I was not feeling good. And it was hot last week too. Let me preface that for like why I was so fucking tired getting home from work, because it was in like the high 90s, heat index like close to like 110, like 80% plus humidity all week. I was miserable. I had a terrible week. And then of course, it was a busy week too, so I stayed late at work a bunch. I think every single day this week I had to stay an hour or two late just doing stuff because fuck me, that's why. Real suffering from success, let's say. You competency comes with that double-edged sword of you prove that you're able to handle things, so people just give you more stuff to do. And, Everyone thinks that the job that they have in their position is the most important thing in the world would crumble without it. Which, from a certain perspective, all cogs in a machine, everyone has a part to play, whatever. However, there are definitely some roles which are more, I don't want to say better, let's just say have a higher caliber of standards in them. And mine's, as far as like airplane stuff goes, like aircraft maintenance, we have like the highest requirements. because we handle a lot of like electronic and software and, you know, not nuts and bolts, but like, oh, we need to be thinking like fucking electrical theory of concept, programming, like, okay, if this program isn't working, this has caused these change reactions, and you just gotta have that, you know, different thought process. So when there's a lot of work to do, and say you're, you know, one of those fucking grease monkey nuts and bolt types, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we can, you know, have, you know, me and like my people. We can go do that other work, you know, that change tires, fucking get greasy and dirty, kind of, you know, just turn a wrench work. Because it's easy, it's simple. It sucks, but it's simple. That's not a two-way street, though. You can't give I don't want to be mean here, but there's definitely a difference in you know, the aptitude, mindset, you know, overall disposition, let's say disposition of character and acumen between these two groups of people. You know, if you're on one end, you can help out with the other, but that other end, they are not going to be any fucking help doing any of our stuff. So we have to do our stuff and their stuff. And because we do it well, they're like, yeah, sure, we can give you more of it. So we just got fucking boned all week. It sucked. And, you know, there's not really anything I can do about it. Because as much as I would love to throw a stink and be like, that's not my fucking job, deal with it, get fucked, that's not really the way it works. You know, team player and all that, So, kept my grumbling to myself until now, from a little vent session. We're 7 minutes in. Oh man, I've been ranting a long time. Let's cut this off so that way we can actually start recording. Whew. All right, Summer Pockets, yeah, hanging out with Umi and Shiroha, doing our thing, so much fun. I think we're supposed to, like, the picture diary was like singing today? ? I don't know. I can't remember because bug catching was last time, and I think today was singing, karaoke. Let's find out. All right. Umi had drawn a picture of her and Shiroha with their mouths wide open in a picture diary. Yep. Are they eating or something? Singing. Okay. Apparently, she'd sing with her mom today. Is there anything special you want to sing? I accidentally made her brood. I haven't thought that far ahead. Even just a general style or genre of song would be fine. And now I have her worrying. Why is this never easy? Oh, I know. Now I think about it. I bought a mini disc player with me. Fucking mini disc. I talk about mini disc all the time. About how I think they're really cool, and it's kind of a shame that medium died out a bit. But hey, I pretty much haven't used it at all since I got here, though. If I play a bunch of music for her with that, I could figure out her preferences. Give me just a second. Though I know the mini disc was a lot bigger in Japan than it was everywhere else in the world, because I'm pretty sure Sony was the one behind the mini disc. So, you know, Sony being a Japanese company, it, you know, propagated a lot more there. It was good, but it kind of filled like a mid-ground between like old style cassettes and, you know, the compact disc. The issue is, like, when the mini disc came out, there was also a upgrade kind of to cassettes, which made them better, and it pretty much filled the niche for the mini disc because you could just use a fucking cassette with any previous cassette player you had. Put it in your car, you could put it in your Walkman, you could fucking put it in your stereo, whatever. It just worked. Compared to the mini disc where you had to get an entire new set of media players. So it kind of kind of launched at a bad time, which I think is a shame because I do think they're cool. We use them at work for data storage. Anyway, mini disc. How neat. Brought the disc player back to the living room.
これ
Which also brings me to the point of, when does Summer Pockets take place? It's kind of like in an indistinct, non-specified time. Like, no one has a smartphone. We only ever see this stuff in, the Kato household, which is an old woman's home. So having an old standing fan in the corner and a CRT, yeah, that's normal. Of course she's not going to go get a new TV. What does she care? The one she has works. But there's never any talk about technology, really. About what's modern and what's in use. Everything's just kind of, it just doesn't come up. Ever. Which is a little weird. Makes it like, you're like, okay, if it's not coming up, does it just not exist? Like, are we like in the 90s? Are we in the early 2000s? Like, hard to say. Who knows? Just an MD player. Why?
MD プレイヤー
And it's like, does Umi just not know because she's a kid? Is it because a mini disc player is new? Or is it because she's too young to know a mini disc player? Like, which way? You don't know about them?
見たのは初めて
Huh. Didn't think they were that rare.
ん
Anyway, try listening to these and tell me which one you like. I plugged one of the earbuds into Umi's ear. I put the other in my own ear. Then I hit the play button.
うるさい
Ah, sorry. I'll turn it down a bit. This is heavy metal, too.
怖い
And now I've freaked her out so much that she's trembling. I think it's safe to say she didn't like that one. Okay, next. I played each MD that I brought with me. But it looked like Umi was less interested in the music than in the MD player itself. No good?
古い
Old. I had some old music, sure. I was pretty sure that had a lot of more new stuff
お
overall.
母さんと一緒に歌えるやつがいい
Ah, that sort of song that everyone knows, huh? But despite describing them like that, nothing really came to mind offhand. Now, does Umi say that? Does she say it's old because of my like Umi time traveler theory? Like from her perspective? Oh yeah, this is fucking dad rock you're playing, even though it's for him contemporary. This is shit in the morning radio drive. 109 FM. The jam, coming to you live every morning with like fucking T-Bone and I don't know. I was gonna say like Cheese Whiz. I'm like, that's fucking terrible. That's a terrible like disc jockey name. But you know what I mean, like that kind of fucking radio station. Playing all the sound effects and their little bumpers. Anyway, but despite describing them like that, nothing really came to mind offhand. I don't think any of my MDs have songs like that on them. No, wait a second. Speaking of music, I heard someone singing a nursery rhyme yesterday at the pool. Umi, let's go to the lighthouse.
昨日私が歌っていた童謡ですか
I kind of got stuck in my head. Can you teach it to
お
us?
母さんと歌いたいそうですかあの歌を気に入ってもらえるのは嬉しいことですお歌聞かせて
Well, really, all we know is the melody.
はいいいですよ
At Umi's request, Samugi cleared her throat. Or are we gonna come up with our own lyrics? The song was gentle and kind, and it felt like even time was flowing a bit more peacefully as she sang. Her singing voice resounded around the area. Sumugi's visage as she sang struck me as vaguely adult-like. Umi's eyes sparkled as she watched the performance. What do you think, Umi? Love it, huh? And is that the one you want to sing with Mom?
気に入ってもらえたようで何よりです。
Will you teach us that song?
つまり私が先生ということでしょうか。
I guess, yeah.
先生、よろしくお願いします。先生、なんでしょう。とても嬉しくなる響きです。
I don't know, a lot of things make you feel things that don't make sense, Sumugi.
わかりました。どこまでできるかわかりませんが、頑張らせていただきます。
Sumugi got fired up and clenched her fists. That's great, huh, Umi? That answers the song question, at
お
least.
母さん、一緒に歌ってくれる？
Well, she needs to learn the song. Huh? I mean, I think so? Probably?
私も歌うの？
That wasn't really the reaction I'd expected. Her face was plainly grim. You can't? I'm not much of a singer to say myself. As you can tell from my speaking voice, I'm kind of like monotone, which it tracks on to the singing. I don't have much range, unfortunately.
けど、誰かに歌って聞かせるのとか。
I could probably do like a low, kind of like gravelly, like country, but like when I say country, I fucking despise modern like country pop fucking bullshit. Like I'm more in the what's the genre they call it? Like Americana, like that kind of like mid 20th century kind of like around Johnny Cash, but also like contemporary to there, but also a little earlier, like your fucking grandpa's country, like the shit my grandpa put on the radio, or like his fucking cassettes. And I'm like, can we listen to something else, Grandpa? This shit's old and boring. I remember that. I said the exact same thing to him, and he thought it was funny. He's dead now. It's very sad. I got his watch. Singing in front of people and stuff. Oh, that's Shira saying that.
ちょっと苦手で。
Shy people problems, looks like.
私は歌を独特な個性に変えてしまうみたいだし。
Ah. So she's tone deaf. It's okay. We found a teacher.
誠心誠意を込めて教えさせていただきます。
Looks like that just compounded the pressure.
お母さん、海ちゃん、一緒に歌おう。
Rare Shiraha face. Okay. Faced with Umi's innocent smile, she hung her head.
それでは
She shung her
早速
head.
歌ってみまし
A
ょ
little
う。
Sean Connery on that one. Sean Connery? Sean Connery, yeah. No, George. Yeah, Sean Connery. I'm fucking mixing Sean Connery and George Clooney up in my head. I'm like, oh fuck, which one? Which one's from Red October? Ah!
歌はいいものです。
I think it's Sean Connery though.
古くから脈々と続く思いの表現方法です。
So, what's the trick to singing well?
広い場所でのびのび好きに歌うことです。
She smacked us with a kind of new agey sort of music theory.
まずは私の真似でいいので追いかけるように歌ってく
It's
ださい。
more like just like I say with speaking. You gotta go from your diaphragm, not your throat. If you squeeze your throat, you get that kind of like kind of fucking tone. But if you go from your chest, it's more, I don't want to say natural, but it doesn't have that constricted feeling to it.
はい、先生。はい。では行きます。
Sumugi closed her eyes and began to sing the island's nursery rhyme. As if caught up in the song, Shiraha and Umi opened their mouths. Several minutes later,
とても個性的です。
Sumugi smiled brightly. No, it might be more accurate to say that all she could do was smile. That day, I learned that there are times when people are so troubled, their smiles are all they have left.
だから言ったのに。
Shirho was depressed. And, more surprisingly,
お歌難しい
Umi was the bearer of a unique musical sense as
け
well.
れど私は先生です。このくらいではくじけません。高原さん、いつまでに歌を上手にして差し上げればよろしいでしょうか。
End of the day. Sometime today.
くじけました。
Tsumugi staggered to her knees. This is a bit of a pickle. Right now, all three of the girls in front of me are down in the dumps.
歌とか別になくても困らないし。
No, we need them at this precise moment, actually.
お歌絶望。
You don't have to get that depressed.
つむぎちゃん、私には無理でした。
Yeah, no, we can't say goodbye to our depressed sensei. We'd have to say sayonara to our Zetsubo sensei here. We don't want that. I don't really get it, but to start, isn't Tsumugi-chan you? Shouldn't singing be more of a casual sort of thing?
気楽に言うし。
Sorry, Tsumugi, I need to go back to read what you're saying. I was too busy thinking of fucking Zetsubo. Yeah.
お父さんも歌ってみればいい。
A song, huh? I was in the swimming club, so my lung capacity is pretty good. Plus, I go to an all-boys school. My classmates and I looked into every means available to us that could lead to popularity. And among those means was... La 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 la! Operating under the theory that those who are good at karaoke would be popular, I worked myself half to death training myself to sing.
すごいです、高原さん。教えることがないくらいです。すごい上手。
Well, you know. I guess I might be a bit proud of it.
裏切り者。
What? I feel like I'm saddled with a groundless grudge. In my book, instead of trying to sing well, you should try to make singing fun. I'll chime in too this time. So let's try singing it again.
間に入る？
Like how you spice things up at karaoke. Yeah, give them the tambourine, or if you play the Yakuza games and choose just to do the, not the lyrics. Like if it's one of the girl tracks, just fucking yelling in the corner like a jackass and clapping, going woo, yeah! Clapping along or singing in harmony. Here, that sort of thing would make you popular.
持ってたの？
I never got the chance to go to karaoke with girls in the first place. I gazed out into the distance.
それでは高原さんも交えてもう一度歌ってみましょう。あと白羽さんと海さんは私の手を見てください。
You gonna be conducting?
手の高さを変えるので、それに合わせて声を高くしたり低くしたりしてください。
That struck me as a good method of visualizing the musical scale for them.
頑張ってみる。頑張る。せーの。
On Tsumugi's signal, they opened their mouths and began to sing. I sang along in the background, making sure not to drown them out. Matching the level of Tsumugi's hand to help them raise and lower their pitch at the right time was effective. Listening closely, they made plenty of mistakes. But still, in terms of getting the high and low notes right, it was the proper song this time. And whenever they did go off key, I jumped in to harmonize and cover for them. We sang in that manner again and again, over and over.
歌えた。歌うってこんな感じなんだ。
The two of them looked even more surprised than we did.
とても上手になりました。高原さんがカバーしなくても大丈夫なのではないでしょうか。
In that case, should I be the audience this time? Yeah, too early. Still need the training wheels. I can't? Well, I keep helping you forever. You'll never get
お
better.
父さんも一緒に歌う。その方が楽しいから。そうですね。歌はみんなで歌う方が楽しいですね。
Really? I glanced over at Shiraha. She looked a bit excited. Maybe since she was happy she'd finally sang properly. She noticed my gaze and nodded firmly. Okay, Let's all sing together then.
それでは新しい歌を試してみましょう。さん、はい。
We sang together. It was rough, but in its own way, it was also fun. Wanting someone else to hear you, or wanting to express your feelings. We weren't singing with any kind of lofty goals like that. We just kept singing along for the pure fun of it, our smiles unceasing. Nostalgic and childlike. It was that sort of song.
今日はとても楽しかったです。
Stole the words right out of my mouth. Thanks for helping me out on such short notice.
いえ、私もとても楽しかったですから。
海ちゃん、途中で寝ちゃってごめんなさい。
歌うのは結構体力使いますので、それに子供が歌うのを見るととても嬉しくなります。今日は本当にありがとうございました。
Tsumugi bowed deeply, then headed home. After seeing her off, we went back inside.
海ちゃん、よく寝てる。
Oh, she really sang her heart out, huh?
私もあんな風に歌えるなんて思っていなかった。
Yeah, you just needed someone to show you how. Have you grown to like singing a bit more?
うん、そういえば今日はお父さん言うなって言わなかった。
I didn't? Oh, I guess I kind of got used to it. And if you don't mind it and all, I guess I don't either.
それはそう言ったけど、あなたは困らないの？
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all, I guess.
それってつまり
Umi's all stuck on calling me that, so, you know.
うん、そうだよ。海ちゃんがお母さん、お父さんって呼んでるだけだし、それだけだ
Yep,
し。
that's it. Yeah, that's all. We looked away from each other as if trying to gloss over something. I had a feeling that someone, somewhere, was calling me an awkward loser.
お母さん
Hold on. Okay, yeah. Ooh, woo. I was just looking over at my audio mixer. I'm like, wait a minute. Do I have the right lights on? Do I have it set properly? And I do. The drivers got updated today, so it like kind of resets a little. And I'm like, oh fuck, I haven't been recording this entire time with it messed up, have I? We accidentally raised our voices and woke up Umi.
ごめんね、起こしちゃった。
平気。
じゃあそろそろ私も帰るね。
うん。
Sure. See you tomorrow then.
お父さん、お母さんを送って。
Huh? It's still bright out though. Oh man, my cadence was all fucked on that one.
傘持って。
An umbrella.
雨降るの？
Shiro looked out the window, bewildered. A perfectly blue sky spread out above.
雨降る。
And I think about it, the diary said that it was sunny with some rain too. Last time she wrote something like that, it really had rained. Well, okay. I'll walk you home. Despite the brilliant sunshine, I ended up going out with an umbrella. Shiro and I were both equally perplexed. I wonder if it's really gonna rain. I looked up at the sky as I walked alongside Shiraha. You didn't walk along her, you know, she's not a bridge, you didn't push her over and just walk on her back. A few white clouds floated within the vibrant sea of blue. Shiraha looked up as well, eating today's watermelon bar salary as she walked.
海ちゃんは降るって思い込んでるみたい。
Are the Islanders here really good at predicting the weather or something?
漁に出る人は結構当てたりする。
And Umi's not really an Islander, so...
おじいちゃんは匂いでわかるって言ってた。
Mm-hmm. It's the difference in air pressure. Oh, so you have a grandfather.
ああ、うん。おじいちゃんと二人で暮らしてる。
I learned a little bit about Shiraha's family situation. I can't really imagine Umi being able to read the weather like a fisherman.
テレビの天気予報で言ってた？
If it did, I'm sure I don't remember it. I mean, I sure don't remember it. Maybe they mentioned it while I wasn't paying attention or something? No matter how much I thought about it, I couldn't find an answer. Well, it wouldn't be the worst thing if it didn't rain, I'm sure. What's up? Shira's pace suddenly dropped.
正直に答えてほしいことがあるの。
What is it? The sudden formal air around Shira made my heart skip a beat.
私は
You talking about your fucking future powers? Yeah?
ちゃんとお母さんをやれてるのかな。
Don't worry, all parents fucking think that. Huh? That wasn't exactly what I was expecting. But the tone of Shira's voice and the weight of her words carried a certain wistfulness.
前に言ったと思うけど、私お父さんもお母さんもいないの。
Yeah, I heard.
二人は私が小さい頃に事故で。
Okay, you probably didn't say it that flippantly, but... Oh, that was the first how I've heard how it
も
happened.
う随分と昔のことだし、ひどい話だけど。
Yeah, you know, stories about becoming... I guess she's not really an orphan, because, you know, she's just with her grandparents, or her grandpa, but... Anyway, stories about how both your parents die in a horrific accident, you know, tend not to be pleasant stories.
お父さんとお母さんのことあんまり覚えてない。ずっとおじいちゃんと一緒に暮らしてたから。だから私はお母さんとの過ごし方というのを知らないの。そんな私が海ちゃんのお母さんを本当にちゃんとやれてるのかな。
Yeah, you know, the standards and requirements change per kid.
海ちゃんが求めているお母さんを叶えてあげられてるのかな。
You just need to be there for what she needs, and that's it. Shiraha turned an almost imploring gaze towards me. I'm certain that she's been carrying these worries on her back this whole time. Now, after all this time, I fully realized how cruel of a role I've pushed onto her. Ugh. Ugh, I took a breath in to speak and just like shot spit down my windpipe. Whew. As if she was reading my mind, Shiraha became
違
flustered.
うよ。私は辛い思いとかそういうのしてないし、最初は戸惑っていたし困っていたけど、でも今は違うから。
Yeah, humans are adaptable. You get into a groove.
海ちゃんのお母さんをやれて嬉しいし。
Yeah, you just don't know the standard you're supposed to be comparing yourself against. It's honestly a relief to hear you say that.
でも私が満ち足りても仕方ないんだよね。海ちゃんが満足してくれないと。
In that case, no need to worry. I nodded confidently. Shiraha, you're doing more than well enough as your mother. And I'm not flattering you or consoling you. I really do believe that. I said it as forcefully as I could.
そうかな。
I do. I mean, look at Umi. She looks super happy, day after day. She's all smiles all the time, right?
笑ってる。
Back when I first met her, Umi wouldn't smile for me no matter what I did.
そうなの？
For a kid, she wasn't kid-like at all. She was all gloomy, day in and day out. It was like she was weirdly quick to give up or something. She looked like she'd given up on all of her expectations and was resigned to sadness.
それは言い過ぎだと思う。
I don't know. Somehow, looking back on it now, it seemed all the more true. Maybe that massive gap between how she was back then and how much fun she was having now was throwing off my perspective. But she's been smiling day after day lately. That's all thanks to you, Shiraha.
それならよかったけど。でもどうするのが正解な
No
の
one
か。
ever does.
だから不安はずっとある。
Just gotta do what you think is right. I'm pretty sure that's true for real moms
お
too.
母さんなのに？
Yup. Even moms are beginners at some point, you know. Yeah, the first kid's to sort all that stuff out, and then you have your second kid, and then it's like the one you actually care about and raise them for real. I was the second child. That's why it turned out so good. My sister, she's all right. She has some hang-ups and issues, but all in all, not the worst. I'm definitely the favorite, though. Though my sister was my grandma's favorite, 100%. My grandma even said it. Like, it had like a family thing. It's like, oh, grandma, you can't say that. You can't say that out loud. It's because my sister, she was a young mother and also has like fucking 6 kids. And that's something my grandmother resonates with, because she was also, young parent, lived on a farm, had, fucking 10 siblings, and, God, I think she had 6 kids too. I'm counting my aunts and my uncles on my hands, yeah. Yeah, so it's something she's able to connect with my sister on about. So, compared to, the rest of the family, which is standard, onesie-twosies for kids. So, anyway, that's a piece of my family lore right there. I think I don't know if I am my grandma's favorite. I don't know. I really don't. As far as like not nephews, like grandsons are concerned, but she did give me my grandpa's watch, so I don't know what to take away from that, other than I also kind of remind her of my uncle who's no longer with us, and bits and pieces of my grandpa. I don't know. She likes that about me. Anyway, we're getting into the weeds here. I don't want to like dissect, my family relationship chart and break it all down for you here. So let's continue on talking about someone else's family drama.
そうかな。
I'm sure there's no real right answer. So how about you take everything you wanted someone to do for you and do all that for Umi?
私がして欲しかったこと。
I figured her feelings will come through easier that way too.
そうなのかな。
Yeah, I do.
そっか。ちゃんとお母さんできてるなら嬉しいかな。
Shiraha beamed in relief. Smile set my heart pounding. I get the feeling that that's sort of been happening a lot lately. Weird.
どうしたの？
There must be a lot of like cholesterol in the food in this island. Your blood pressure going up. Shiraha moved closer, peeking over at my bewildered face. Nah, it's nothing. Unable to look her in the eye, I turned my gaze to the sky. And just then, flip, something hit my cheek. Flip-flop.
Huh?
Shiraha looked up as well, shocked. All of a sudden, the sky above was filled with dark clouds. Rain clouds. Those clouds began to gradually pour raindrops down upon us. Oh, it's raining. No time at all, the shower grew stronger. I opened the umbrella in a panic. You should get under here too, Shiraha. It wasn't a particularly large umbrella, and to stay out of the rain, getting close to her was unavoidable. Rather than close, more like stuck together.
ごめんなさい。
No, me too, sorry. Neither of us knew what we were apologizing for, but I couldn't think of anything else to say. The rain had become something closer to a squall. Well, you are in a Pacific island, technically, in the summer, so yeah, it makes sense that you catch a squall here and there. Well, I guess that means Umi's weather forecast was right on the dot, huh? I need to tell her thanks for forcing me to bring an umbrella, huh? And to thank her for giving us this time together,
お
too.
兄ちゃん、まるで知ってたみたいだね。
Yeah, weird. The rain, you mean? I guess we couldn't really call it a forecast. She knew for sure.
うち、
What was that? The rain was pounding fiercely on the umbrella, and I could barely make out Shira's words.
なんでもない。なんでもないよ。
Shira looked up at the sky as she spoke. It looked like she was looking beyond the clouds, far off into the distance. Yeah, weird. It's like, oh, what a coincidence. I thought only, only we had that thing going on, but, huh. When I woke up, the TV was on. I'd forgotten to shut it off before going to bed, but it turned out that my dad was home. Since he was here, I have to say it.
おはよ
He looked up at me for just a second and replied, yeah. But that was all. His gaze drifted right back to the TV.
う。仕事は休みなの？
He replied that he'd be going out soon. Apparently, he'd be meeting up with an old friend, even though it was the first day of summer vacation for me. But I was used to being alone.
ほら、ライオンさん。
うわー、お母さん上手。
Shira and Umi were leisurely making origami. According to Umi's diary, they apparently spent today relaxing. Meanwhile, I was vacantly watching over the two of them. Sure is peaceful. Days like this are kind of nice every once in a while. I looked over Umi's diary again. There was one part that I've been watching out for. A section on the day's weather. She'd written that it'd be sunny, and the weather was, in fact, lovely. Something about the sudden evening shower the day before was nagging at me, though. It'd be fine if it was just a coincidence, but yesterday was the second time in a row she predicted the rain accurately. She'd written the entire picture diary 2 weeks ago. Seemed just a little too unnatural to call it a coincidence. But even so, I had no clue what to make of it, if anything at all. Don't yawn, you make me do it for real. Muddling it over so much made me sleepy. Well, logically speaking, there was no way it could be anything but a
お
coincidence.
父さん、ここ持って。
Huh? Umi had apparently put together a trick boat and was holding out the sail to me. Here, right?
うん。目閉じて。
Gotcha. I shut my eyes, like she told me. I could feel her fiddling with a bit through the sail I was
目
holding.
開けて。
Oh, I was holding the sail, but now I'm holding the bow somehow.
不思議？不思議？
Yeah, I wonder how that happens.
実はね、こうなってるの。
Umi revealed the secret of the trick to
お
me.
母さんに教えてもらったの。
She beamed and laughed
ど
proudly.
うしても船を降りたいって言うから。
I guess getting tricked before must have made an impression.
ううん。お船はお母さんが綺麗だから。
Huh? I couldn't quite grasp what she was trying to say. You mean like you liked the way Mom made it?
ん？
And now it was Umi's turn to be confused. No, the fact that it was, Shiraha's boat was what made her like it.
お母さんが船に乗るんだよ。
This time, Shiraha's expression shifted. She's like, oh, you should know about that. She was clearly bewildered. Then we started folding another trick boat. Oh, Shiraha does?
海ちゃん、もしかして夏鳥の木のことを言ってる？
Oh, Flight of the Summer Bird. I wasn't familiar with the term. I couldn't even begin to imagine how it was written. Wait, you're saying you'll actually ride a boat for real?
うん、
Oh, ride a boat
Demo.
for it.
誰にも言ってない。
What? Shira's tone of voice drops distinctly. Distinctly. She looked at Umi with something like fear in her eyes.
どうして知っているの？
うん？
It's like, what? I just knew it. Like, what? How do you know the things you know? Umi tilted her head in confusion as she kept folding. She'd been having so much fun just a moment ago, but now Shira was brooding. She'd gone vaguely pale. Shira, you okay?
うん。
She nodded stiffly, but she didn't look okay at all to me. Hey, I don't really get it, so... This Flight of the Summer Bird thing... What is it exactly?
ちゃんと説明すると長くなるんだけど、この島に昔から伝わる儀式みたいなもので、簡単に言えばお祭り。
And you'll be on a boat during it?
うん。
Shira's expression was grim.
海ちゃん。
なに？
Shira's lips quivered once or twice, as if she was choosing her next words carefully. She stared at Umi like you'd stare at a mysterious, unidentified life form.
知っていたの？
The question carried a slightly different nuance than her previous one had. From how did you know to did you know? It was just one word, but its absence made all the difference in the world.
うん。
Umi thought for a moment, then nodded.
昨日の雨も知っていた？
Yep.
うん。
明日も知っていた？
うん。
The conversation had clearly gone to a strange place. Even grammatically speaking, it was off the rails. But even so, it was clear that the two of them were on the same page.
そうなんだ。
Shira stepped away limply. I almost felt like she might collapse, so I reflexively held out my arm to her. But she brushed me aside. Shira?
もうない。
Huh?
もうお母さんはおしまい。
え？やだ。
Umi appeared to have finally realized that something was wrong with Shiraha. She held out her little hands imploringly and took a step towards her. But Shiraha backed away farther than Umi's step had carried her, like she was running away from her.
近づかないで。
お母さん。
もうお母さんじゃない。
どうして？
She looked up at Shiraha on the verge of tears. Shiraha returned her gaze almost bitterly. But she didn't take Umi's hand. She turned her head away and mumbled.
私は呪われているからごめんなさい。
She apologized to Umi. Then she spun around and fled from the room. Umi's cry received no answer. There was no hint of Shiraha's presence. She disappeared from the house entirely.
お母さん。
Umi's eyes brimmed over with tears as she gazed after Shiraha. It was all so sudden, I didn't know what to do. Our half-finished origami, still laying forgotten on the table, was overwhelmingly
お
desolate.
父さん、母さん、明日も来るよね。
Yeah. I couldn't bring myself to answer her properly. Umi, you're positive Shiraha's gonna ride a boat?
ね。お母さんが？
You're the one who said it, right?
うん。乗っていたと思う。そうなの？
I'm the one asking you here. I wasn't sure why, but for some reason Umi's words made me feel frightfully insecure.
お腹すいた。
Yeah, it's about lunchtime, I guess. What do you want to eat?
うん。チャーハン。お母さんの。
After forcing out those words, she began to cry again. No, Mom, but can you make do with her recipe? With her shoulders slumped in dejection, Mia looked even smaller than usual. Glancing back at her, I began to cook some fried rice. I precisely imitated the process that Shira had shown me. And unavoidably, that got me thinking about her again. Why would she say something like that all of a sudden? It was like she'd been afraid, like she was running away. The conversation with Umi made no sense.
明日も知っていた？
What could have that have meant? She knew about tomorrow. No, about tomorrow, too. She'd used the past tense this whole time. I thought back to the uneasy feeling I had looking at Umi's picture diary. I'm sure that's where the answer lies. It just felt so unrealistic. I've been turning my eyes away from the truth of the situation. If I put it into words, the explanation would feel even cheaper. precognition. As if. Yeah, right. I denied him mere moments after I said it myself. I was acting like an idiot.
お父さん、
What's up? You're burning the food, dog.
焦げ臭い。
Huh? Whoa! I'd burnt the fried rice.
46点。
Hey! Even burnt? That's not that bad. Oh, better than I expected. Actually, that was my highest score yet. I diverged from Shira's recipe and burned it, seeming to have actually made it better somehow. But regardless, Umi ate her fried rice with a dark expression. I wasn't exactly happy either. With just one person missing from the dining table, the fried rice that should have been delicious lost all flavor. That somber mood followed us throughout the rest of the day. Umi slowly finished her origami on her own. Even when she finished it, the person she wanted to praise her was gone. But still, she started folding again.
あらまあ、ずいぶんとたくさんの折り紙ね。
Kyogo-san smiled as she looked at the mountain of origami lined up on the table.
お母さんがいっぱい教えてくれたの。
そう、よかったわね。
うん。
She nodded and smiled hollowly. It was like a sad, forced smile meant to keep adults happy. Completely despondent, we went to bed earlier that night. She must have been too lonely to sleep alone and was curled up inside my futon. Was she a cat? I thought everything was going so well, too. After Shira went home, I couldn't do anything for Umi at all. I was frustrated with myself. What's going to happen tomorrow? Was Shira really planning on never coming back? Shira, Umi's waiting for you. Whispering those words almost like a prayer, I retired early as well. Another thing that made this week suck, I was just moving my hand around, and I got reminded of when I felt a sharp pain going through it all of a sudden. Yeah, I fucking stabbed my finger with a flathead screwdriver. And it was like a new screwdriver too, so it was fucking sharp. How it happened was I was like tightening like a metal bracket onto like a hose. Like you put an adapter in, and then like on the neck of the hose you tighten the metal bracket that cinches it down, and you do that by, tightening the screw. Well, the screw slipped out and like stabbed the hand that I was holding the hose with, and right at the base, like my index finger, like kind of it's mostly on the front but also onto the side, just fucking stabbed it right with the flathead. Oh man, that thing went in deep too. I'm gonna have a scar from this without a doubt. Not the only scar I have on my fingers, not even on that hand. I also have one on my thumb from when I fucking stabbed it doing something. I don't even remember what. And then I have one also on that index finger on the side from when a bandsaw fucking went into the side of it. I was cutting a sheet of metal and the bandsaw popped out and fucking right into my finger. That didn't feel very good. Though I guess on the plus side of it being such a sharp screwdriver is that it's actually a pretty clean cut. Like just went right in. Didn't bleed a lot either. Like it seeped a little, but I just fucking put it in my mouth and just kind of sucked on it. And now it's a cool scab, but it's scabbed like you know how like when your hand rests, your fingers are like slightly curled. Well, that's how it's scabbed. So whenever I like straighten my finger out or extend it too much, it like pulls on the cut and it's like ow, ow, ow. So until that like heals in like another week or so, I'm gonna have to be dealing with that. And I have like a hair in my mouth now. Fishing it off my tongue. Where is it? There it is. Fucking mustache. Anyway, the day began with radio calisthenics, just like always. I really didn't feel up to it, but I didn't want to break our perfect attendance streak. Omi plodded her way to the shrine, too. She plainly lacked the energy for it, though. Maybe Maybe she was thinking that if she went through our routine like always, Shiro would come over like usual too. In that case, I should try to act normal as well.
背伸びの運動
Huh? It's normal? The exercises themselves broke the doing things as usual streak. They were the same ordinary bog standard radio calisthenics that I'd done as a child. What happened to the usual eccentric exercises? And to top it off, the calisthenics leader's energy was weirdly
お
low.
っちゃん振られたらしいぜ
I happened to overhear someone talking about it.
大きく深呼吸
I don't want to start my day with radio calisthenics steeped in the aura of defeat. We returned home and had breakfast. On a normal day, Shiro would have arrived by now. But that day, she was nowhere to be seen.
お母さん
Umi looked anxious, impatiently waiting for Shiro to arrive. Was Shiro really planning on ending her role as Umi's mom, just like that?
お母さん来ないの
I'm sure she's just busy today. Even I thought that was a terrible lie.
うん
Umi clearly didn't believe me. But there was nothing else I could say. The guilt was crushing me. Do you want to go take a walk or something? Sitting around here all day is boring, right? Wanted to change of pace
う
too.
ん
But Umi shook her head. Yeah, we gotta be here when Mom shows up.
お母さん
Yeah,
来たら困る
I know how kids think. So she was worried about being out when Shiro arrives. We might run into everyone if we go out, though. Let's at least take a look around for them. I didn't really think there was any chance we had of running into Shiro by coincidence. And I just used the idea of getting Umi to agree to go out for a bit.
うん
Umi finally nodded in agreement. Such a dishonest adult. Even after bringing her out this far, Umi hadn't stopped restlessly glancing around in search of Shiro. Our excursion wouldn't be a change of pace at all at the rate that it was going. I had to do something, anything to help Umi have some fun. Alright, let's give that place a try.
いらっしゃい
Hey, just stopping by.
あれ今日は海ちゃんも一緒
Yeah, we went out for a walk.
なんかあんた本当にお父さんみたいねで今日はお母さん
I dashed up to Ao in an instant and shoved my hand over her mouth. Shh! Mom is a banned word today.
はあんた何したのっ
Honestly, I'm not sure.
ていうか近いわよ
Ah, sorry.
愛人
No! We fed Umi some shaved ice while undoing her misunderstanding. Ao and I continued our discussion a short distance away from her.
で本当に心当たりないの
I don't, and it's a problem.
ふーんあんたなら
Yeah, what does your feminine
何か変
intuition
えてく
say?
れるかもって思ったんだけど
I'm
な
trying to navigate this this fucking minefield without a map. I was thinking minefield and my brain auto-completed landmine. I think about it. He said something like that earlier, too. Something about how Shiraha would have to tell me about it herself or whatever.
覚えてたのね
Shiraha said something that's been bothering me. She said she was cursed, or something along those lines, at least.
そう
Is that good enough to at least, get you to spill the beans? Got a foot in the door? Oh? You really do know something, don't you? Please, tell me about it.
何のために
Why?
海ちゃんのため白羽のため
It's for... We'll be selfish, it's for our own sake. It's for my own sake.
は
Oh, don't glare at me like that. You're scaring
あ
me.
なんで二択を勝手に三択にしてんのよ
I don't know, it sounds more dramatic when you do it that way. I mean, I'm not saying it's for Umi's sake or Shiraha's or whatever, we'll just be glossing over things. Just that, when I see Umi and Shiraha together, kind of makes me happy. When I came to this island, I was pretty much running away from some bad stuff. But when I watch them together, it feels like I can reclaim something important to me. I want Umi and Shiraha to both tell me that this summer will be a good memory for them. Not just one or the other. It has to be both of them. Otherwise, I'll stay hollow forever.
何よ、単に欲張りなだけじゃない。
Nothing wrong with that.
っていうかお人よしね。やっぱりあんた、
You know, I say it.
もう一
I'll
回
say
シ
it
ロ
all
ハ
the
と
time, you
話した
know.
方がいいんじゃ
When
な
it
い？
comes to happiness, you know, be as fucking greedy as you want. Take as much of it for yourself as you can. Yeah, I want to. I can't just leave Umi on her
こ
own.
こで面倒見とくわよ。
You don't mind?
もうちょっとすれば良一たちも来るだろうし、このお店にあるものでよければ好きに食べたり遊んだりしていいしさ。
Cool. You'd really go that far for us?
後払いよ。
Yeah, figures. Then, can I leave Umi in your hands?
任されてあげましょう。
Hey, Umi. I'm gonna go search around for Shiraha.
お母さん？
Yeah, I got longer legs. I can go faster on my own. You wait here. Yeah, for Mom. So, can you wait here for a while?
ちゃんと帰ってくる？
Yeah, I'll do everything I can to go get Mom and come home. Butcher the sentence before moving on. For some reason, she shook her
お
head.
父さん帰ってくる？
Me? I hadn't imagined she'd be asking that, anything of the sort, and for a moment I was at a loss for words. How could a kid be so sensitive to this sort of stuff? She looks like she might burst into tears at any moment. It's okay. I'll come back for sure. Till then, wait for me here, okay? However, Ruichi and everyone will play with you.
好きなだけお菓子食べていいからね。
As much as my wallet has room for, anyway.
わかった。
Umi's eyes were bloodshot from crying, but she nodded her head. Alright, now I just have to go find Shiraha. But where could she be? Clatter, clatter.
くださいな。あ、いらっしゃい。三角形の秘密？
Gamme, I didn't know you were still around. Heck, looks like she's become a regular customer.
私も夏の探し物真っ最中だもん。
Umi's eyes were wide.
海ちゃんもいたんだね。愛人1号。
Umi pointed a finger at Kamame.
どういうこと？愛人2号。
Umi continued, turning her finger towards Al.
あらら、そうだったの？お母さん、修羅場。
It's really not like that.
違うの？
Oh, please don't steer this conversation into a difficult direction.
あれ？ちょっと空気が重い感じだね。失礼失礼。
Looks like Kamame can read the room, at least to some extent.
でも、この空気の重さはお母さんが理由っぽい？
And there she goes, immediately invoking the banned word. How did you know?
シロハさん、すごく沈んだ感じだったから。
Where'd you see her?
あっちの方。
I looked in the direction Kamame pointed. That way's the place where Shiraha always went to be alone. Out of the way section of the shore where we went fishing. Thanks, Kamame. The corn snacks are on me. Ow, put them on my tab.
店にあるパリンキー、全部ください。
You're surprisingly merciless, huh? But knowing where Shiraha was made a huge difference. I'll be right back, Umi. I set off at a run. In the height of the summer heat, on my own two legs. I'd gone out for a walk, so I'd left the cup at home. And I regretted that choice, at least a little. But no, running might be better that way. If I were the cub, Shiraha could notice the sound of its engine and run away. What should I ask? And how should I ask it? I ran those questions through my head over and over as I sprinted towards the island's outskirts. But, unable to come to a conclusion, I reached my destination still lacking a plan. I found her there, facing the ocean and staring out into the distance. her long hair that fluttered in the salty breeze, her pale skin that never seemed to burn. Seeing her in this place, the streets took on a different, somehow isolating quality. So much so that for a moment, I almost reconsidered calling out to her. I felt like I was reaching out towards something that should never be touched. But this was no time for bashfulness. Shira! She turned to look, and I saw that she'd been fishing. Somehow, the atmosphere turned instantly awkward. Shira,
何
it sounded like you got a bite. You got a bite. She tugged on the rod. A star plopped out of the sea and sailed through the air. Oh, starfish, huh? You eat everything you catch, was it?
人では美味しいし
Are they? I can see it. I guess. Do you like take off the skin? It seems like it'd be rough to eat. It's not quite a shell, but it definitely doesn't seem like it'd be appetizing. Wait, you're seriously gonna eat it?
ウニみたいな味がする
Mmm. Oh, some top grade stuff in that. I was legitimately surprised. Then the conversation stopped dead. All that was left was that permeating, indescribable awkwardness. So you know, Umi's waiting for you to come
お
over.
母さんはもうしまいって言ったし
Yeah, and it was a one-sided request in the first place, but it was just so sudden.
うん
It was here, right? This is where you told me that it'd be better off not involving myself with you.
あ
Your curse, does that have something to do with it?
関係ない
It doesn't?
あなたに関係ない
Nothing to do with me? Please stop saying stuff like that. I certainly think it has something to do with me.
それはそっちの都合だし
Yesterday, when you left, you said you were sorry, didn't you? I don't think that's something you'd say to a person you had nothing to do with.
それは
If there's a reason for all this, I want you to tell me. I want to know.
これを聞いたらもう近づかないでほしい
I can't promise that.
なら話せない
Well, then I'll keep chasing after you until you do.
恋
ん
どすこい
Yeah. Oh, I haven't heard that in a while. For some reason, the word inflicted especially high damage now. But I couldn't afford to lose heart. I don't care how doskoi I am. I want you to tell me. I had to show her I wouldn't back down, not until the bitter end. Shira looked more troubled than angry. Finally, she sighed in defeat.
この島に住んでいる人ならみんな知っていることだけど私は呪われてるの
What a terrible word. Does that mean they've ostracized you? Some custom observed only on this island,
う
maybe?
んそういうんじゃないの島の人たちはみんないい人ばかりだしだからこそ巻き込みたくないって思ってる
Get them involved? Could this be why she always keeps to herself?
私は見えてしまうの
What, I forgot to zip up my fly?
未来が
Oh. It was kind of a long story. And a haphazard and plausible one at that. Shira had possessed the strange power since long ago. The power to see the disasters that would befall people. The things that she saw would actually come to pass in real life. And they always happened to people who were close to her.
だから今まで誰とも親しくならないようにしてきた
But all that might just be coincidence,
う
right?
んそう考えようとしたこともあったでも未来からはどうやっても逃げられなかったまるで歩く道を縫い止められたようにただ吸い込まれるようにたどり着くの変えようと思っても逃げようと思ってもそうしたことが
Mm-hmm.
結果的に見た未来につながるの
So why bother? It wasn't something that I could just accept at the drop of a hat. But somehow, part of me was satisfied by her explanation.
驚かないんだね。
No, I'm surprised, but
海ちゃんのせいで納得した？
she was exactly right. Umi's picture diary. I called it a magical diary myself, but even I found something about it unsettling. No amount of effort could let us change the weather ourselves. But up to today, I hadn't been wrong even once. Even the rain fell exactly when the diary said it would. Almost as if Umi had known it would rain that day in advance.
やっぱり未来を知る力ってあるんだって思い知ったの。私が見る未来は変えることができないんだって。やっぱり私はこの夏に。
What? You'll really what?
あ、
Shira, what did you see?
暗い海、雨が降っていて、それを私は海の中から見ているの。
From inside it? In other words, that means she was drowning.
見上げた海面には赤い光がいくつも浮かんでいるの。あれはこの島の海の祭事、夏鳥の儀。今年私は夏鳥っていうご先祖様たちの魂が迷わず帰れるように、まだ誰にも言っていないことだったけど、きっとそこで何かが起こって私は海に沈むんだと思う。苦しくて息ができなくて心臓が痛くて。
Yeah, water in your lungs don't feel great. As if responding to Shira's words, I started to tremble. I involuntarily shut my eyes tight and could see the blackness of the water. In the depths of my imagination, I felt like my heart was being dragged into that
どう
darkness.
したの？
Her voice brought me back to reality. I opened my eyes. Shira's face was right in front of me.
大丈夫？
Sorry, I'm fine. I was still lightly trembling. What I'd seen was a jumbled, hallucinatory mixture of Shira's words and my own experiences. I guess I can't escape it, no matter how far I run. It felt like I could run, and those dark waters would never stop chasing after me. No, that might not quite be right. Shira, you tried to fight it.
立ち向かう？
Back when we first met, you were practicing swimming at the school pool, weren't you? You were trying to learn to survive, even in the open sea, right?
少しだけあがいてみた。でもやっぱり無駄だと思った。ふみちゃんが教えてくれた。未来は変わらない、変えられないって。
That's not...
もう私に構わないで。
What? Why would you say something like
巻
that?
き込みたくないから。ひどい目に遭うのは私だけで十分だし、本当は私は一人でいなくちゃいけなかったのに。
As she spoke, Shira backed further and further away from me.
誰も私の運命に巻き込んでしまわないように。
Even though I wanted to get closer to
そ
her,
れでもごめんなさい。
I had the feeling that if I took even one step forward, Shira would run, so I didn't move an
あな
inch.
たたちと過ごした時間すごく楽しかった。
Shira! I couldn't stop myself. Before I knew it, I'd cried out and stepped towards her. But, as if that was her signal, Shira turned and fled. Even though I couldn't resist approaching her, I now couldn't bring myself to chase after her. It's like my soles were glued to the ground, and I couldn't take a single step. Shira ran without looking back. Couldn't do a single thing. Had I not believed in her? Is that why she ended up all alone again? She had rejected her connection with Umi? God damn it. I was ashamed beyond words of my own powerlessness. 2 days had passed since my dad went away. With no school to go to, I spent even more time all alone in that silent house. Wanting some kind, any kind of sound, I decided to clean. It was easier to distract myself while I was doing something. I went to clean my father's room, which I normally never entered. There was a letter on top of his desk. It was addressed to him. The return address was for Torishirojima. I knew that I shouldn't look without asking, but I looked anyway. The letter was about my mother, about the memorial service for the 12th anniversary of her death. And my dad had left me behind. It was a horrible, melancholic dream. But the moment I opened my eyes, everything I'd seen spilled out of my mind, leaving only a vague and dim memory behind. That said, even if I'd forgotten the contents, the feelings remained firmly within me. I tried to clear my head and sit up. Something was pulling on my arm. Wait, no. Clinging to it. Umi. Umi was fast asleep, clinging to my arm. My eyes red and her eyes red and swollen. Yesterday was the first time she'd spent a full day apart from Shira since she started calling her Mom. When I returned to the candy store alone and dejected, she hadn't said a word. Maybe she'd been sympathizing with me. To think that a little kid like her was watching out for my feelings. I really was in a pitiful state. In an effort to distract myself, I thought I'd go help out in the shed, even if I had to force my way in, but...
今日はちょっと温度の方に行かなくちゃいけないの。お留守番お願いね。
What terrible timing. The air was heavy. This time, it really was just the two of us stuck in the house together. We went to the radio calisthenics in the morning, but we barely spoke to each other at all. Not during breakfast, and not now either. Umi, do you want to make some onigiri? Origami? I'm thinking of food because I'm waiting for breakfast because it's like 4:30, so I'm like, onigiri, how yummy.
お母さん。
The word origami had acted as a trigger, bringing Shira back into her mind. Her eyes began to fill with tears. But before they could fall, she wiped them away. She desperately held them back, as if to declare, I'm not crying. Seriously, I really am powerless. And so we returned to our original lifestyle, to an everyday life of TV and boredom, to those measly 4 channels that never broadcast anything we wanted to watch. I only kept it on for the noise, since the silence was painful. And we had been quietly watching the TV for some time, but suddenly she stood up with a sniff. For a moment, I thought she'd had to go to the toilet, but then she started rummaging through her own luggage. She pulled out a letter. She unfolded it and began to read on her own. You were reading that earlier too, weren't you? I remembered asking who it was from. Back then, she hadn't answered me, but now... who was it from? I tried asking again.
お母さんの手紙。
Your mom's?
お母さんが残してくれたの。
Not Shira, of course. She must have been talking about her real mother. She told me she was gone. So it was a letter that she left behind for Umi then? As she read it, Umi incessantly twisted her head around, this way and that. Oh, what's wrong?
し、難しい。
Big kanji? Huh? You can't read it?
うん、
But you were reading it before, weren't you?
読めない。
Yeah, she was just looking at it. She scrunched up her face. I could tell that she didn't know what to do. I moved next to her and peeked at the letter. It used some kanji, certainly, but none that seemed like particularly difficult ones. I couldn't imagine that a girl of Umi's age not knowing how to read them. To the contrary, I was positive she'd been reading it herself earlier. She'd been nodding along as she read. I saw it myself. She's forgotten how to read?
海
Whatever the case, I couldn't stand to watch her looking that sad any longer. Should I read it for you?
うん
Umi hesitated for a moment, then handed me the letter. Its envelope had a letter for the times when you're sad written on it. I felt that it carried some deep meaning, which surprised me a little. So what could be written here? Okay, I'll read it. A bit nervous, I began to slowly read it out loud. Yep, put your readers on, push them down far on your nose, kind of stick the letter out a couple feet away from your face, kind of scrunch up your eyes and kind of drop your jaw a little while you focus on it. When you're sad, you don't need to hold back. Put your feelings into words. Tell them to the people around you. And when you can't bear the sadness alone, it's okay to share it with someone. So, reach out your hand. And if you find a warmth to grasp, you'll be all right. I'm going to interpret that as it being met in, bad handwriting. So he's like, let me focus and try to read it, syllable for syllable. It was a letter from someone I'd never met. I had no clue what they were thinking, or under what circumstances they'd written it for Umi. But even so, its contents touched me deeply, to the point that I couldn't stop myself from tearing up, as if the author had written it knowing full well that they'd never see Umi again.
お母さん
How many times had Umi read this letter? I was sure she'd read it and reread it over and over again. Didn't understand why she'd lost the ability to read it all of a sudden, but there was no way her mother would have written a letter that was too hard for her. I'm sure she wanted the letter's message to reach Umi, above all else. I'm gonna interpret, Umi, regressing further and, now apparently losing the ability to read is like each night we're getting like a piece of Umi backstory. We see the iridescent shade. It's like kind of a piece of her kind of getting shaved off. She's getting whittled down. Psychologically, maybe spiritually. I don't know. I don't know the nature of the soul. Who does? Especially in this case. So who knows what metaphysical effects that would have on one if constantly chipping away at them like that. And perhaps that's why as we advance through the routes, Umi had her regression points, because it's like, oh, we've gone through so many cycles of this that just whittling away down at her until she's the nub of the person that we have in front of us now compared to what she was our first run through. That's my off the cuff kind of media literacy interpretation right there. How much she felt when she read it. Just thinking about it was breaking my heart. Umi. I stretched my hand out to Umi like it was the most natural thing in the world. Reach out your hand. Those were the letter's words. That's what her mother had wanted, had wished for her to do. I, the one by her side, now by her side, wanted to do what her mother would surely have done for her. But would my feelings get through to her? Squeeze. Slowly, trembling, Umi took my hand. Her grip was so strong, so brave, I was taken aback. I squeezed her back. Careful not to crush it, I gently wrapped her hand within mine. Umi, what do you want to do? As I held her hand, I asked. What do you want to do right now, more than anything?
お母さんに会いたい
Her answer was obvious. She wanted to see her mom, to see Shiraha. But Shiraha was in a terrible state yesterday. I had yet to tell Umi about
ず
it.
っとすれ違いに
Huh?
でもこの夏は逃げないってきっと
Mm-hmm.
最後だから。
Umi? What are you talking about?
うん
Still clasping my hand, Umi stared out into space. I feel like she wasn't aware of her
手
surroundings.
紙返して。
Huh? Oh, right. Alright, so Umi's vaguely aware of the cycles. I handed Umi back the letter from her mother. She folded it carefully and returned it to the envelope, which she in turn returned to her luggage. But as she did, another piece of paper slid out and fell to the floor. It was a picture. It was clearly old, its edges tattered here and there. A perfectly ordinary group picture. Yeah, huh, weird, me and my friends, how strange. Or so I thought. Wait, isn't that... In the picture, I saw the people of this island. They were all people I knew. Ryuichi was there, Tenzen, and Nobiki too. Ao and Shiraha, and right beside her. Why am I there? I had no idea what it could mean. I mean, I couldn't remember ever being in a picture like this.
返して。お母さんの写真。
Oh, wait. We do have a date. This place takes place in 2000. Alright, yeah, that does explain it. Finally got a fucking time period for when this game takes place. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, 2000. You know, August 31st. Yep, that's when he leaves. Uh-huh. Damn, did that picture get taken at the end of Shira's route the first time? I can't remember. Like, I remember the picture. Yeah, it makes sense, because it's Shira's grandpa being happy. Crying in his manly tears. Yeah, I remember now. Or at least my brain's tricking me into saying that I remember. Moms. Took another look at it. Does that mean one of these people is Umi's mother? But the only people in the photo were all from this island. It was everyone I'd met since I'd come here. And most of all, I was struck by the number on the bottom right corner. Yep. Double aught, 831. But today's only the 15th. Does that mean this picture's from the future? And on top of that, it's so old, it's beaten and tattered. It looks like many years have passed since it's been taken. Oh, this is so stupid. I felt like an idiot for just thinking it. Why did I even consider something so preposterous? But it was obvious. The clues were all there. Yup. If a fucking moron like me was able to piece it all together by now, they have no point in hiding it. Because at this point, obfuscating it any further is just annoying to the audience. Where it's like, okay, we all know what's going on. You've inferred all the cards at play. Let's just show the hand, so that way we're, all on the same page, and you just don't have that, nagging feeling where you just don't know what's going on, but you're like 95% sure you do, but then it's like that 5% is just like, but what if? In isolation, I could laugh each of them off as coincidences. But viewing them all together as a whole, I wasn't laughing at all. How had the weather in her picture diary been right so consistently? That face she made sometimes, that told me she'd known. Shira's duty, about which she told no one. And finally, the secret Shiraha revealed to me yesterday.
私は見えてしまうの、未来が。
Even more so than that secret, the thought now crossed my mind, sent me reeling. Umi, did you... Man, I'm about to say something real stupid. But I can't afford not to ask. Yeah, if I'm wrong, we can just laugh it off and be done with it. Did you come here from the future? It really was stupid. But even so, the moment the words came out of my mouth, I couldn't help but see the little girl in front of me as a complete stranger.
Huh?
Even though she was the girl who I'd spent more time with even though she was the girl who I'd spent more time with that summer than anyone else. That summer, compared to this summer. Weird wording. Like a lost child. Umi sat there
お
idly.
母さんに会いに来たの。もうお母さんはいなかったから、私はお母さんを知らなかったから、だから会いたくてこの島に来たの。未来から。
Dun dun dun. I was shaking, at a loss for words. If it weren't for that picture, I'd assume it was a childish prank. But I believe you, Umi. The words just spilled out naturally.
本当？
She looked surprised. I suppose she hadn't expected me to believe her. It was like everything that was causing her to tense up had suddenly been wiped away. I'm certain she told me fully prepared to be rejected. Umi, will you tell me more about yourself?
うん。
Umi looked me in the eye.
私には小さな頃から不思議な力があったの。
A mysterious power?
心だけ過去に少し戻れる力。
Cool. Just your heart. To the past?
嫌なことがあるとそこから逃げるみたいに気がつけば戻っているの。
Cool.
やり直せるわけじゃないけど、
You're just there as an extra player.
また
Just sitting on the
同
bench.
じ
You can't
未
really,
来をたどるけ
you
ど、
know, in the viewers gallery. I guess not really viewers gallery. Because you are able to interact and, you know, get on the stage. It's just it's a bit part that doesn't affect the story. You're wearing the tree costume. The story. I know how it goes. It's a story I'd seen somewhere before. I couldn't remember where I'd seen it, but I had no doubt that I knew it. So then, how did you come here?
ここに来たいと思ったから。この島はお父さんとお母さんが楽しい夏休みを過ごした場所ってこの島で出会って恋をした。ずっと昔私もここに住んでいたって言ってた。小さくて覚えていないけど、でもお父さんに連れられて
Yeah.
島を出たの。
Yeah, it was probably too rough to, sit here and be reminded, of Shiraha after somehow she died. So he's like, I gotta fucking get out of here.
この島にはもう近づかないって。理由は何度聞いても教えてくれなかった。ただ忘れろって。だんだんとお父さんとは話さなくなっていった。
Did you and your dad not get
う
along?
ん。お父さんは私のことが嫌いなんだと思う。
Oh, well, if she never met Shiraha, it sounds like Shiraha, they had a fucking, spoilers for Clannad. Clannad afterwards, sounds like she had a fucking Nagisa moment and just shit you out, then croaked. She gazed at me, speaking flatteringly, as if it was incredibly difficult to admit.
だって私のせいでお母さん死んじゃったから。
I'd heard that she was gone. Naturally, I'd had considered the possibility that she'd passed away. But hearing it so directly, the weight of her words had me choked up.
でも一度だけお酒を飲んでる時にお母さんのことを話してくれた。島で出会った2人の過ごした夏休みのお話。偶然出会って
Mm-hmm.
いろいろなことをしたって。一緒に魚釣りをしたり、家で紙飛行機を作って競争したり、昆虫採集で虫の大きさを競った。
Weird.
カラオケみたいに歌を歌ったって言ってた。流れるプールとか滑り台で遊んだって言ってた。そんな夏休みを過
Damn,
ご
where's
した
that
って。
Shira route?
羨ましかった。私はそんな夏休みを知らないから、私もお母さんとそんな夏休みを過ごしたいってそう思うようになったの。
Umi hung her head as she listed the activities, one by one, like they were her own memories. They were the very activities she'd written about in her picture diary, meaning she really had drawn everything that she wanted to do.
夏休み、お父さんは私を置いてお母さんの法事なのに、私だけが置いていかれた。
Yeah, that's kind of
Dakara.
fucked.
一人で来たの。
To this island?
うん。スマホのアプリがあれば平気。
Oh, was it? He's like, what the fuck's a smartphone? Smartphone? Wait, what are apps? I hadn't heard of any of those words
え
before.
っと、未来にある携帯電話のこと。
You want to fucking see some TikTok brain rot and like absolutely have your mind explode? And if you have one of those phones, you can go on a long trip no problem.
地図とかあるから。
We're talking about a phone, right?
うん。
I would say, you know, explain it as like it's like a PDA. That might be something you'd be like, oh, okay. But like merged with a phone and having a big screen, and you'd probably imagine like some big fucking chunky two-hand contraption you got to lug around. But ah, crap, this is getting harder and harder for me to follow. I definitely believe her, but my mind couldn't keep up with her words.
島には初めて来たのに、とても懐かしかった。私は知らないのに、私を知ってる人もいた。それで、じいじの家に行ったの。そこで、写真を見つけた。
This one? The old group photo I held in my hand.
母さん、初めて見た。すごく嬉しかった。やっとお母さんを見ることができたから。
The first time. Your dad, he didn't let you see any pictures of her?
うん。お父さんはお母さんのことが大好きだったから、見ると辛いから写真も全部捨てちゃったって言ってたから、その写真が最後の一枚かも。じいじに写真をもらったの。大事にしようと思った。でもお父さんに見つかった。だから逃げた。
Yep, gotta leg it. You ran away?
お父さんに写真が見つかったら捨てられちゃうから、勝手に島に来たことも怒られるから。
I mean, he might be angry about that you like left the house and, you know, did that, but
逃げているうちにどんどんと山に入って、周りが暗くなってきて、それでも逃げ続けて、ずっと逃げてばかりだって思ったけど、私にはそれしかできなくて。そして
does that explain why we found you in that field in Shira's route? Like at the very end, you were just kind of chilling there by the tree and we're like, hey, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, yeah, nothing. I was like, okay, weird.
私は
Oh,
崖から落ちた。体が真っ暗な闇に落ちていくのを感じた。 このまま死んじゃうって思った。でも死んだらお母さんに会えるのかなって。お母さんに会いたいって、ただそれだけを考えていたの。
That's depressing.
そうしたら暗闇の中に綺麗な蝶々が飛んでいたの。
A butterfly?
まるで道案内をしてくれているみたいだった。ずっと落ち続けているみたいな感覚だったけど、蝶々に触りたくて目いっぱい手を伸ばして。
Okay.
気がついたら
Huh.
この時代に来てた。
I was speechless. We had fallen from a cliff in an accident. And while she fell, she wished with every last ounce of her strength that she could see her mom. And near that situation, the power she'd always had sent just her heart into the past, might have activated spontaneously. And she'd gone back in time, body and all. It was way too haphazard a story to believe, but the picture I held in my hand was undeniable proof.
それから何度も何度も夏を繰り返してきた母さんと一緒に過ごせる夏休みが欲しかったから。でも
Yeah.
うまくいかないことばかり。
It's all Shira's fault for being such an asocial weirdo.
何度も心を過去に戻した。でも戻ると何かが
Yes, I'm
抜
so
け
smart.
落ちていくみたいだった。ちょっと怖い。
Lumi's shoulders drooped despondently. I looked back to the picture. The photo I couldn't remember being in made me somehow nervous. I was pretty sure I knew what the seeds of that nervousness was. Lumi, who is your mother? It felt like a line that I wasn't meant to cross. But I also felt that if I never asked, I'd never be able to resolve
う
anything.
ん。
Lumi looked at the picture and hesitated too. Then she reached out and pointed at one person.
お母さん。
Her faintly trembling finger was pointed at Shura. As the moment she said that her mom was in the picture, I kind of had a feeling that it would be her. But that was the first time you'd seen her. How did you know that Shiro was your
お
mom?
父さんの横にいたから見てすぐわかった。
Well, Kyoko's next to us too. I see. The person next to Shiraha in the picture. So then, am I your father? He looked me straight in the eyes. She looked anxious and was trembling, as if she was wondering whether it'd be all right for her to nod. But that was enough to confirm it for me. I see. I nodded towards her. Lumi looked surprised.
信じてくれるの？
Honestly, I'm not sure I understand. So many things about this are just way too sudden. I can't process it. Somehow, I can accept it. Emotions aside, I had no grounds to deny it. But all things considered, the future me is a real asshole, huh? To think that he wouldn't let his daughter see any pictures of her mom. What the hell could have happened to turn me into that sort of person? Well, it could very well be that I've been that sort of person from the very start. I mean, I came to this island to run away, didn't I?
私はたくさん夏を繰り返してきたの。
It's like, yeah, I know you're not a bad person. You're just like kind of bad at coping with things.
その数だけお父さんを見て、その数だけ
Mm-hmm.
お父さんを知っていった。
It's like you must have been hurting like a real lot. So kind of like not too mad at you.
きっと
Mm-hmm.
お母さんのことを隠す理由があったんだってそう思った。本当は優しい人だって。それはもう分かってるから。最初は怖かったけど今はもう平気。お父さんが海のお父さんでよかった。
And he smiled at me. And with just that, I felt like I'd been forgiven for the sins I committed in the future that I'd yet to see myself. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that dramatic reveal, finally, we see things for how they truly are instead of just inferring it. We will end this episode for today. Mainly because I'm getting really hungry and it's 5 o'clock, so I can go get breakfast. I need to go grocery shopping today. I have like nothing in the fridge. I have like a quarter of a carton of milk, a carton of eggs, which I don't want to use them because I have just enough to make another batch of ice cream, which I also want to make when I go shopping today. I'm planning on making plum. I'm gonna make a plum ice cream, but this time I'm also going to make like a plum syrup to kind of enhance the flavor. So I'm gonna have to go buy some and then like reduce it down and then jar it and then have plum syrup. See how that goes. Hopefully it turns out okay. I've never made syrup before like that. I've made jams a long time ago, more like I helped my grandma make jams, but I've done it before. But I've never made like an actual syrup like that, so we'll see how that goes. And hopefully it turns out good. But I need to wait till the grocery store is open, so I'm probably just gonna go to McDonald's. Have a nice shitty breakfast. It's right down the street. I don't want to cook anything. So, with my plans decided for the day, I would like to once again thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. Check out the Discord link in the description down below, and become a member today and give me your money so I can buy my McDonald's and get like 2 hash browns with my order. Such greed is sickening. What such gluttony shall make you too wide to fit through the gates of heaven. But I don't care because those hash browns from McDonald's are really good. And I really need one right now. So yeah. This video will be going up in like 2 hours. So hope you stick around for the next one next time too. Okay. I have no proper way to segue out of my outro here, so I'm just gonna stop recording now. Okay, bye-bye now. Mwah.